everybody. This is Jake. We're here at our annual high school media day. Really excited here. First interview of the day here on camera here. We got head coach, Consolidated head coach Brandon Schmidt. Coach, I got to ask, can you kind of believe it's already year 2 for you?
It goes fast. Football season's fun and exciting, and then you jump right into off season, and before you know it, year two is here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll just go ahead and get on started. Speaking of year 2, hey, we'll kind of jump back to year 1 a little bit.
Yeah.
How do you feel kind of year 1 went? Just how did you feel like the year went?
Overall, I thought it was a solid year. Really couldn't ask for more from our kids. They last February I got here and they jumped right in. They bought into what we were trying to do and accomplish, installed a new offense and a new defense, and really I thought they did an outstanding job. We had a lot of fun last season, and we're anxious to build on that.
Coming into year 2, do you feel like things are going to be a lot smoother? You know the guys know you.
I think from an install standpoint, it's definitely a lot smoother. They already know the offense. They already know the defense. They already know the offense and the defense. But every team is different. Every year is different. Every team is different. We'll have a new set of challenges this year. We'll have a new set of surprises this year. So we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And speaking of maybe not a challenge, but I know the defense is going to be kind of a somewhat new defense. Got to not bringing back a ton of guys. You have some returners, but still defensively, how are you guys kind of looking so far?
Especially our front 7 on defense, I think has got an opportunity to be really special. We got some really talented young men back on the front. We're going to have to kind of early on in the season figure out who's going to be our guys on the back end of the defense. Obviously, replacing guys like Trace Meadows and DJ Darnell is going to be a big deal. But I think we have some kids who are really excited about stepping up to the challenge.
You mentioned a couple names there. We'll start with the newcomers, and we'll kind of go back to the veterans.
Okay.
Defensively, especially, who are some of the newcomers that you think could have an impact? Who's caught your eye so far?
Guys who are varsity returners from last year, and a couple of varsity starters from last year too. Vakapuna Faketi on the D-line, Nazir Adams on the D-line, and then Ethan Walton at linebacker. I think those guys are going to kind of anchor that front 7. But we have some guys around them who are going to do a great job for us as well.
Perfect. And we'll go to the offense as well. Offensively, bringing back a lot of guys there. How's the offense looking? What's kind of the setup of the offense? Would you say it's a pretty veteran group?
It's a veteran group. We've made some personnel changes this spring, moved some guys to some different positions. Really we got a lot of guys who need to get the ball in their hands. So I think from an offensive standpoint, we're going to be tough to defend because the ball's got to go to different people. You got Colton Schmeller and Darius Roberts and Cam Vines, and those guys are all going to have to touch the ball. And so, we look forward to this season and what it has in store for those guys. But I think it's going to make us tough to defend.
And along with those guys you mentioned there, who are some of the other veterans kind of leading?
On the offensive line, Johnny Brown and Nathan Haley are 2 returning starters, and those guys are going to be big for us. And then Will Hargett at quarterback. He's I think the College Station community's gotten used to seeing him as a quarterback, and we're looking forward to what his senior year holds for him.
You mentioned a couple position changes there. Got to ask, and no worries, you don't want to reveal all the secrets, but can we ask some of the position changes?
Colton Schmeller started at H-back last year. We're going to move him out to receiver. We think he can be a weapon for us out there. Cam Vines last year played some receiver and running back for us. He's going to start the year off at receiver, but he's still going to take some snaps at running back. And then we've shuffled a few bodies around on the offensive line.
And offensive line-wise, bringing back pretty much all 5, or how's that look?
We got 2 returning starters, Johnny Brown and Nathan Haley, and then Judd Brown spent some time on varsity last year. We anticipate Judd being a starter, but then really the rest of the guys are going to be guys who were JV football players last year.
Perfect. And I got to ask Judd and Johnny.
They are brothers.
Okay, I was going to say his last name, common. So
Sure. Judd and Johnny are brothers. Usually where you see one, you see the other one.
Perfect. Well, hey, how much fun has it been? I know off-season you guys went through spring ball as well. Pretty fun coaching of those 2 guys together?
Yeah, it is. It's really they're both. It's personality-wise, they're really, really different. Johnny's really quiet, and really kind of he's quiet, but he takes care of his business. And Judd's a little bit more vocal, a little bit more outgoing. But no, they're fun. They're so much fun to coach.
Perfect. And I want to ask about the schedule a little bit too. I know we've talked about the district before, but still, how do you kind of feel about this district as you guys kind of get closer and closer to the start of the season?
Really for us, I think our first 4 games are really, really tough games. We got Lake Belton week 1 and Forney week 2 for non-district, and I think those are 2 really good opponents. and then we jump into district with Pflugerville, Weiss, and College Station. And so I think those first 4 games are going to be really a barometer for what we're capable of throughout the course of the rest of the season. And then, of course, the rest of district play, the last 6 district games, everybody's a quality opponent, so it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I got to ask, too, about the College Station game real quick. I know it usually feels like that game's kind of later in the season.
Yeah.
It's earlier in the year.
Yeah.
I mean, any feelings on it being earlier in the year, or for you, is it a rivalry game? It doesn't matter kind of where it is on the schedule.
You know, yeah, I'd probably prefer for it to be a little bit later on in the year. Just, you know, it's going to be a big game. It's going to have district champion implications. It's going to have playoff implications. And so I think having it a little later in the year maybe just makes it more exciting. But you know what? That's when it is. So neither me nor Coach Pryor had any say in when that game was scheduled, and so that's when it is, and we'll line up and play.
Absolutely. And really just the last question, kind of a big picture question. What do you kind of think your team's biggest strength is going to be this year? Maybe what might be the biggest challenge for the Tigers this season?
Yeah, I think biggest strength is going to be our defense, and particularly our front 7 on defense. They're going to be really good. They're really talented. We have some kids returning from last year. And then I think our biggest challenge is going to be kind of replacing 3 starters on the offensive line. We have some kids I feel good about, but you know, sometimes with the offensive line it takes a few weeks for that group to kind of gel and learn how to work together. So I think that the quicker that group can kind of come together, I think the better we'll be.
Perfect. Before we let you go, Coach, anything else you want to add, or we didn't cover all our bases?
No, I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you.